It's not
Is that
garbage.
the same as doing hints on the app? What, that right there, is that the same as doing the hints on the app?
Yeah, so these blue ones are, but that's the same thing.
It just looks very different on the laptop.
Well, when you're on your phone, technically what you're doing is you're looking at this. If you see this, so
Right,
when
that's
you get on your phone, you'll look at something like this, and you'll just be like, okay, well, wait, yeah, this is what you can do. So you'll get on, you'll look at this, and then you review,
right.
and then you're picking it based on what they've given you. And so we don't know anything about this person. It just kicked it up, but we can see here her birthday is October 24th, October 24th, born in Poland, but this doesn't include that. But she did die in Beaver in 1889. So this looks pretty close. Wait, it's not letting me. Oh, it's already attached. So why did they? I don't know why they made me look at it.
It's already there.
So we'll review the attachment because maybe they linked May, but nobody else. No, it's already good. Why are they making me look at it?
Maybe they were duplicates.
Well, it doesn't matter. There's nothing to do on this one.
Weird.
So it's still right there. May McEwen. Record hints available. May McEwen Smith. Burial. Review. And this is what I just looked at. So
Yeah.
we can actually go to her and see if does it list her burial. Okay, so they don't have the burial. So what it's actually wanting is that it gave us the burial, but they didn't put it on here for her. There's no sources attached to her, and they probably should have had kids, but we'll have to find that, I guess. So John Murdoch, which is one of our grandparents, you can see how we're related to this person right here. It just pops it up. So it's grandma's grandpa's aunt. Or actually, it'd be a second wife.
Oh, yeah, it is.
So John was married to Julia and then married May later. Okay, so what it's wanting with this is it's a burial. Oh, that's the problem right there. Okay, so if you hover over it,
Yeah.
it's got that exclamation mark in the triangle. That's pointing to the error. This is attached to May McEwen Smith, but it's also attached to this Marjorie May McEwen.
Oh, it's
So if
attached.
one thing that I use all the time to open new windows and figure this stuff out is to push down on the scroll wheel on your mouse. I don't know, do you ever do that? So do you use a mouse? Oh, it's a lot easier to use a mouse. I just keep a Bluetooth one with my laptop. And so right now, if I click with the scroll wheel, it automatically opens it in a new window. So I still have May McEwen here to look at, but now I've got Marjorie May McEwen here. And so we can look, they're saying Marjorie May McEwen was married to George Bain and then married to Alexander Nicol Smith and never part of John Murdoch.
They don't even go together.
So there's no reason why somebody attached that source to this Marjorie May, because this link talks about being married to John Murdoch. Well, no, it doesn't. It doesn't even say that. But the dates are the same. So I guess we need to look at the birthday and the death day and see if Marjorie was born October 29th. October 24th, 1804. So this is 85 years. Oh, that's the birth. Okay, so they're saying that Marjorie May was born the same day as this other one. June 15th, 1889. It actually does look like it applies to this Marjorie May McEwen. If we close this and go back to our May McEwen, they're saying that she was born August 24th and died that same time.
That's weird.
But that's probably just a matter of somebody saying so. But you'll see that they have two sources already. Well, that's including the one that we're looking at, that say this person, that Marjorie May was the one that this applies to. And this one doesn't have any sources. So for some reason, last month, David A. Wells just assumed that this was the dates. And they don't even have a source for it. So we can't actually know that this person knew what he was doing or why he did it. And you can come over here and you can see the latest changes that were all made. See, this person also put just last month that May McEwen was married to John Murdoch. But we have no source for that. So we don't know why this person did it whatsoever. He actually just created this person. May McEwen didn't even exist until a month ago. So we don't know that any of this is even relevant or accurate because there's no sources. So I'm more inclined to actually say that we don't have to delete this person. We could if we thought that we were better than David or whatever, but she is attached as a second wife to our great grandfather, and we don't know if that's actually true unless maybe there's a link on John Murdoch saying that he married a second time. Did he when? Well, they're actually saying he got married 3 times. Had 3 kids with Electa. Wow. Saying John Murdoch got married 4 times here. We don't actually know if that's true or not, especially May McEwen. He's saying it's 1857. It's plausible just because the dates would work. Maybe Sarah died.
We'll go in. Oh, Sarah died in 1884,
what? What's that?
Sarah died in 1884. So unless there's a divorce.
Oh yeah. Yeah. So I mean, yeah, unless they got divorced or he had plural wives, he'd have to have multiples. So the one before Sarah was Electa, and she died in 1845. So that one makes sense. But I'm inclined to think that May McEwen's not actually legit. So the first thing I'm going to do is that review right here, I'm going to say is not this person.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll go in and detach it from this May McEwen. No, this is right. Yeah, so this is attached to Marjorie.
We want it on her, but we don't want it on.
So we'll just go back to here and we'll say ignore. And well, we don't want to ignore it. We want to say not a match. So let's actually find that. I'd like to just get rid of her.
I know.
They should have an option. So I know that if I detach it from Marjorie, it'll then give me an option to say not, but then we'd have to find out how to reattach it to Marjorie. So I don't really want to do that.
Can we not just detach it from May?
It's not actually attached. It's asking me if I want to attach, and I don't, but there should be an option to say no. Unless somebody's saying that these are the same people as well, but I don't think that's the case.
I could see somebody not doing the research and just going, oh, well, that's the
Well, that's
same.
probably what happened. But if we go here, yeah, see, somebody's got it down as an alternate name, Marjorie McEwen Smith. And how do we know that? Like, did she marry a Smith? Yeah, so she married Alexander in
Yeah,
1838. So yeah, this could be that.
could be.
So May McEwen Smith actually could be this
You
Marjorie,
could have just
but
created
she
her
wouldn't
if
she
she
wouldn't be
wasn't already
married.
there.
Yeah. So actually what I'd want to do is I already have Marjorie up, so I'm gonna go to this May McEwen. I thought I
Person.
already had that, yeah. So what I already have it here. So I'm gonna click on her ID.
Yeah.
I'm gonna delete her. I'm just gonna merge her with Marjorie.
Yeah.
Because that really fits. And so this person didn't know what he's doing. So I've copied the ID. Now, before I go to Marjorie and add it, is I'm going to delete this relationship with John Murdoch first. Unless there's, I mean, if there's a source in here that says even after she married Alexander, she did marry our grandpa, John Murdoch, then you'd be able to find that. But she died in 1889 and they got married in 1838. And this timeline is 1857. So it's possible that this Marjorie May McEwen is this person that married our grandpa after Sarah. If that's the case, then maybe I won't delete the relationship yet. We can find that out later. But I'm gonna make them be the same person. So I'm on Marjorie now, and it's not saying that it may be a duplicate, but they're saying that she may have another spouse. And the only reason they give us these purple ones is based on an assumption. They're just saying, hey, she lived to 1889 long enough after Alexander died that she could have gotten remarried.
Maybe
They
there's
don't know that. And
right.
it'll even tell you that if you click on it. There is no evidence of another marriage, but this person lived long enough after the last spouse to get married again. So they
Yeah.
don't know that. But we do kind of have proof right here that in 57, this person's thinking they married John Murdoch. And so if Alexander died before 57, which he did, it is very possible that Marjorie May McEwen did marry John Murdoch in 57. So we'll go ahead and make it the same. So we're on Marjorie already. That's important. We can do that on our own by coming over here to tools and merge by ID. And we've already copied May McEwen's ID right there. And so we'll link that. And then it'll give you this option. So this first page is just a comparison one-on-one. And it's just telling you everything that we know about Marjorie over here on the right and everything we know about May McEwen on the left. If you look up here at the top, we're saying the birthdays are exactly the same on both sides. We know they were both born in Crieff, Perth, Scotland. They both died June 15th and in Beaver. Though they're saying that this was 1899 and 1889, but that could be an indexing error. So that doesn't say no yet, right? We've also got that, well, we don't have any sources for May McEwen yet. That's a zero.
Because he just like
We just
created
have
it.
this spouse. So up here at the top, you'll see that there's a merge warning. It says that these two people have been the same person before. So to use extra care before we go ahead and do it. But that's crazy.
On our end, that just shows us
But that's also weird that these people have been merged before because this guy just barely created her a month ago, less than a month ago.
maybe someone else saw it and was like, dude.
But I'm gonna go ahead and do it.
Yeah, I would.
We'll say yes and continue, and then everything on the left of May McEwen now is gonna be deleted unless we want the stuff over here. So you can say, I want that to go over there, and it boots it. And so anything that you want to change, say we want it to say Beaver County, Utah, instead of that. I mean, it boots it out of the way. But these ones are more accurate, so we're going to keep them.
Yeah.
We have no events, we have no sources, we have nothing except for that additional spouse, and that's what we're looking to tie in right now. So here we have that additional spouse and the marriage date right there. So if we can say that that didn't actually happen and still delete May McEwen. But we want to just link that for the moment until somebody actually proves that that didn't happen. So now we'll say continue, and then this will be your reason why. So I just typically click on one of these. This one is basically everything is perfect. This is everything that's vital is exact. This is most of the stuff that's vital is right, but there are a couple minor issues. And then this one is if somebody just like May McEwen, there's not enough information there, and it seems plausible to believe that they're the same person. So you just click add, it puts it up here. I don't put anything other than that so far. I mean, nobody's contended what I've done lately, and people can do that, but I'll finish the merge. So now we've got this person that is now the same, and it's automatically got her married to John Murdoch now. So if we go back over to John Murdoch and we update the page, we now have the whole family line tied to Marjorie and John Murdoch here instead. So that's automatically fixed, Marjorie's automatically fixed, and we've got the source attached to the right person. So all three of those are now closable and we're good to go.
That was an
I didn't mean to close one of those. Anyway, so that hint is finished, but we've actually tied in a whole family line now because of what we've just done.
That was huge.
Yeah. So other than that, doing hints, we've got Margaret Arthur. I don't care to help her. I'll just go back to the regular. So I'll go to me. The easiest way to get back to me is to click recents, and it'll always have you at the top. And so you can click your family tree, and this is on descendants. We've actually got all of our stuff back 7 generations. So it's all full already. But one of the big things when looking at this stuff is not just to look at family lines, but to look at those research helps. And so now it'll populate them with data problems, suggestions, and record hints. But there were a lot of blues and reds and purples here, but this is a lot of what I've just done over the last week was fixed all of them. So if you were to pull your name here, and you can't see people that are live, I don't know if you knew that. So no living records are on there. So if you get on, you're not going to see me, mom or dad. You're actually going to see your version of mom and dad and won't see me. I could add you as my sibling, but it doesn't matter because until you die, it won't actually link a real version of us together.
I did the same thing. I added my kids, but it won't matter because.
Yeah. So anyway, so what I did after I got all these cleared is I just went across the line and I started one up. So Grandpa's dead. You can start the tree from him just by clicking that. And now it'll go back 7 generations from him, but I didn't want to look at quite that many. So say I only go back 5. Well, they're all done 5 out because of what I've done probably. So let's go 6 out. We've got another one of these suggestions that they're just saying, you don't actually have any information. We're just guessing that there's something here. So we can look at it real quick just to see if it's possible. Again, I clicked the middle mouse wheel. So now it's open in a new window and I'll just keep this tab here. And so I'll move over. We've got Sarah Cook here and it's saying there's no sources attached. And that is problematic because we have no idea that any of this is actually accurate. See, even as recently as 2018, Jenny Evans thinks the National Burial Index put this person buried there on that date, but they didn't source it. So how do we know? And we have no way to look this up because it's not linked. There may have been a source, but she didn't attach it. So we have no idea if any of this is right. We don't even know that she's married to Richard Smith or that these are her kids. We got none of that. But that's also not a reason to reject it.
No, but how would you find that information? Because there's like nothing to go off.
That's taking it a step further. My first thing that I would do is go to my ancestry and see if ancestry has anything on Sarah Cook. If you want me to try that, I can show you that, but that's going a little, I just barely learned how to do that last night. And again, with your family search account and through the church, we've we've got access to Ancestry without paying for it. But it's just the same login for the church or for Family Search. And so now I'm going to go to my tree, which I ported over, and so that the Ancestry is a lot different than Family Search, because it'll give you your own tree and give me my own tree, and they don't actually ever link, except for you can click on a person and compare that to other people's trees and pull information over. So if you had a tree and you had information on Eddie, I could go to hints here for Eddie, and I could look at other ancestry trees that have Eddie. So right here, say Lindsay's family tree, this Jennifer Palmer, Lindsay family tree has Eddie Smith, and this is her information, but it's all the same as mine. There's no yellow. But Connolly, they have a different input of the date of the locations. And it looks like the only thing that's really different is that they abbreviated USA instead of United States. But if there was more information, like something different on children or whatever, I could just click this box and then port over that information. Hey, what are you doing? But I don't need to do any of that here. But all of our trees are separate in Ancestry. That's the point that I was making. It doesn't matter what errors I do to my tree, because it doesn't affect anybody else's tree. Whereas in Family Search, if you manipulate this tree, it changes that person for everybody.
Yeah.
And that's kind of cool. And that's how it needs to be, because as we all work together, we need that stuff. But anyway, so okay. Sarah, I forgot how we got to Sarah Cook.
Show me how you got the fan chart.
Oh, it's just
so from your home page.
Oops, I hate that it does that. Well, so this is the home page, right?
Okay.
I'm just going to go to Family Tree and then click Tree. And it's going to start, it should start with me. Well, usually it starts with me. Okay. So here we're at home. This is me. This is a family tree. You can also change it to be up and down instead. But by doing the fan, it's just this fan chart.
Right, okay.
And then it'll look like this. And you can go to the fan chart starting from anybody. So if I was in this and I wanted to go from Grandpa with this, I could still do that and click his tree. And now it'll start with him, but then I can switch over to the fan. You see that?
Yeah.
And doing the landscape and all that, this doesn't tell you if there are errors with the people. Well, it says that it should, but in the options, but it doesn't do that when you're in the trees. So as a fan chart, you can click the different filters. So this will tell you how, like sources right here, it tells you how many sources are attributed. So the Sarah Cook right here has 0, but Ellen and Mary only have a couple, and so does Sarah Stewart over here.
We have missing people. Go fix that.
What?
We have missing people. Go fix that.
Oh, I know. I've been working on it. I actually worked on Sarah Stewart for a while, and I can't find her parents right now. But I got some new information from that lady I talked to this morning, so I'm going to work on that. Anyway, right now we're trying to find sources for Sarah Cook. So we're looking at her. She's grandpa's, mom's, dad's, mom's. We'll just start with mom's, dad's. We'll just start with this and try to find it. So we've got grandpa's, mom's, dad. There she is right there. So we'll go to her profile. And she actually has only one hint here, so that's unfortunate. But we'll go to that hint. We'll see what we got. It's just other members' trees. So we're probably not going to get anything. Skinner Dover just has England, so they need to update that. Lindsay's got the same thing. We do have a father and a mother here. That's different, so we would introduce that if this is true. England, this has a different location. This has a death date. which is new. We're looking at the same spouse and same child dates, so that could be a new thing as well. This is the same. So if we wanted, we could take this. Huh?
They said we do. We want to.
Well, we don't know we don't know if Joseph's family actually is right. We don't know why they have that. But
Can you go through it and find sources there?
well, yeah, we can link it and then find out later if it's accurate and then just delete them too. So let's for now, I mean, because coming over here, Sarah Cook doesn't have any parents. We don't know when she died, even though it matches this. So that might be something to look at is Jenny Evans thinks that she died on October 31st, 1806, or was buried that day anyway. If we come over here, we can look at this person. They think she died October 31st, 1807. So they're a year off, but the same date. So it's very possible that there's just an indexing error.
Yeah.
What? You need a drink? Of what? Chocolate milk? Okay. Just one sec, Nish.
Got me all excited and walked away.
Chandon, where you go to?
He's helping.
Hold in, buddy. I got fair water today, but we haven't got any food. You think you could help me out?
I didn't realize this is what you guys are doing.
What?
Stuff I didn't realize this is what you guys are doing.
Yeah, he did.
Wait, you want to see people?
He was for like 15 minutes, but the whole time he was like this.
Playing the game.
Yeah, you couldn't actually see him playing a game. You just saw him like staring ahead.
Mm-hmm.
I'm guessing so. And then all of a sudden he just disappeared, like no warning or anything. And then all of a sudden my mom disappeared with no warning or anything.
Where should I go do something?
Well, that was the thing. So then we text her, we're like, where are you? She's like, I had to go. Dad needed me. Lele! Millie! When are they coming to take that package?
Heck, you can't leave that bag out there.
It's on it.
Took it out there.
Not the mailing label.
Yeah, I put it on there.
How did you get the mailing label? Okay, so when are you gonna take it? Because it has to be there.
Come on.
All right. I've got to go soon. So let's hurry and finish Sarah, and then we'll have to pick this up later. You ready?
Yes.
Okay, so we've got Joseph's family tree. We're going to add that date, and then we're going to actually take this parents from Jealous. And then later we'll be able to figure out if it's accurate or not. So we're going to review the selected trees that we've clicked. And now they're both here, okay? So we're gonna transfer over this death date. That's already checked and we're good. We'll scroll down a little bit. We've got a parent here. We'll click that. We got about dates, but we don't have addresses. We'll keep those. And then we've got Margaret Wallace, a mother. We've got about dates, which is fine. And then this one is the Richard Smith. They're saying that's the husband, is that right? Richard Smith. Yep. So we don't actually need to add that because it's not doing any additional information. And we're not linking any sources either. This is a new person. I didn't even notice that. So it's saying that she might have had a daughter named Nancy. So that's new as well. 1794 would have been the, was that the birth? Yeah, birth is 1794. So that would actually been earlier than Sarah. And it would have been a year after their marriage. So it's plausible that there's a daughter right there, Nancy. So we'll click that and find out later if that's accurate. It does look like we've got accuracy on Sarah. And then this doesn't actually list, it doesn't actually list the bottom three children in their family trees. So they should probably pull that from my tree now that I've got it there, because that would be new for them.
Mm-hmm.
So I've got all this new information here on this Sarah Cook. So we'll link it up. We'll save it to our tree. And now let's back to here, and we'll just go back to facts for Sarah. And this has the information. We've got Nancy and Sarah here. Oh, it doesn't look like I've actually got the children myself here. So we've got a spouse, and then we've got Nancy as a daughter, but not the spouse here. So we need to say.
Why?
What?
Why do you not have it over here if you do have it on?
Well, because it's all right. So here, because you porting stuff over from Family Search to this is a little bit time consuming, but what we'll do is we'll just say compare person to Family Tree, so, or Family Search. So now we'll have the stuff from Ancestry over here on the right and Family Search over here on the left. We'll start scrolling down, we'll look at the comparisons. So here we have those dates that we've got. And so this is the burial date that we've pulled over, but now we know this new thing of the death.
Mhm.
And we'll port it over just because we don't actually know which one it is because there's no sources. So it very well could be this one or it could be this one. We don't know. We'll figure that out later.
And they're so
We-
close. That,
Yeah. We've got these spouses. We've got this marriage date that's the same. We've got this child. We have an unconnected spouse. And then we've got these two sources from the other trees. We're not going to link that because that's not really a choice. It's not letting us move the parents over yet because we have to actually move the parents over. Oh, see, here's this. Additional children not linked. We need to port this over. So that's what we'll save these changes and then we'll port the other kids over. So the information we just got about Sarah Cook, we've now got here. So if we update it, we should have a new daughter. Nope.
so how do we get the parents over?
Okay, so first I'm gonna do add relatives from Family Search. And we have to do these one at a time. So we're gonna add Mary Ann. We don't know if that's the same. So it's wanting to know if we need to add a new person or if we think that it would be this person that already exists. And it does look the same. 1794, well, that's not right. 1802, that's not right.
No.
I'm just gonna add a new person.
Yeah, it's got to be that older child
And
on there.
Richard Smith is the father, so we don't want to make it so that she's an unknown father. And we'll port that over. And then we're going to do the same thing for the next child, William Smith. We're not thinking it's the 94 to 79.
Mm-mm.
Who's Nancy?
Yeah, we don't even have Nancy over there. Oh, Nancy is the kid that we thought was the older one.
Yeah, so we don't. We're saying it's a new one. It's not the same person.
Yeah.
Okay, so we'll do that, and we'll add the last one, Susanna. A new person.
Her youngest.
Okay, so now we should have the 4 new kids with Richard, and we just got to figure out how to make Richard be the father of Nancy. Now we pulled Nancy from that life tree, and if I would have pulled it, if I pulled Richard over, it probably would have worked. But what we need to do here is somehow get the dad.
Mm.
What am I looking at? Oh, I didn't mean to do that. We need to go back to Sarah. We're on Sarah. We need to add the spouse. All right, so this is definitely different for Ancestry because it'd be really easy to add that link there.
Is that the debate?
Huh?
Joe, is that the debate? Yeah.
It's amazing because Mike Pence is like giving like he's being really nice to Kamala Harris, and she's being a complete jerk to him.
That makes sense.
Like he's super nice, like
Yeah, I
very,
like Pence.
very professional, and yeah.
All right, so one way we can make this work, I don't know how to add the spouse there as this Richard Smith, but we can go to Nancy and we can actually port her over to, what? Select a match. I don't know how it got there. Oh. We're gonna add her to Family Search. Nancy is related to the following people who are connected. Yes, add that.
There's no way that I'm gonna remember how to do all this on my own.
Yeah, doing the ancestry is a little extra that we probably didn't need to do.
It's so cool and like what it just did. So we need to be able to do it.
Come on.
Okay, it's not free though. Someone has to pay for it.
Whoever makes under $125,000. If your parents make less than $125,000, you can go to college for free.
So if you make more than 125, you're paying like triple so that you can pay for other kids.
Right?
That makes sense.
Okay, so now so now she's got we have a new person on Family Search. She's not going to have any records or anything. Again, we don't have any sources for her, so we don't actually know if she's legit and stuff. But you come over here to this, and now you click F5 to refresh. We're going to have Sarah Cook having a daughter, and she's not going to have that spouse there. But now we can correct this very easily on this by just clicking this copy ID, and now we'll add a spouse, and we'll do it by ID number and paste it there, and then we'll add the match. And so now Nancy is part of the family.
Yay, Nancy.
Now if you come over here to Ancestry and we compare the person,
I would have let you move it
he
in.
has the new father. But actually, that's not what we don't need to compare person. What we need to do is add a relative. No one connected. Add a father.
Oh.
Select someone in a tree, add a new person. Well, they're being silly here. Let's see. Freaking Ancestry. We just want to add the dad. It's gotta be in adding the relatives. Interesting. Well, we know that it's Richard Smith, so let's try it just by typing, and then we'll do Richard Smith, male, deceased, 1771 to 1863. Weird, because it should have just been like, do you want to link that to somebody on your page?
Half sisters. It has them all as half siblings because it's not hooked to him.
They're not really necessarily listed as half. They just
Well, right there is that half the death of half sister
yeah.
and whatever else. But what about the parents? How do we get her parents over there?
I don't really care about Ancestry. Oh, yeah, I'll tell you that. I'll show you in a second. I just wanted to correct this because it's really easy to do on Family Search. But let's actually go to Richard and see if we can add
a daughter.
Select someone in our tree, and we'll do Nancy Smith. So this might work.
Okay.
So he goes.
Okay, so now she's there. And now let's go to Nancy, and she should have her dad there. Okay, so that did it. Okay, so now those are correct. And we're back to Richard. We're going to go to Sarah because we need her parents. And what we're going to do is we're going to go to William Cook, which is her parent. And now we've got this person, and we're going to go here. And we have no matches. So what we're going to do is add it to Family Search, just like we did Nancy. Please wait while we add William Cook. And then we're going to go to the spouse, which is Margaret Willis. We're gonna add that to the tree. And now part of the process, honestly, with getting these guys is we have no sources. So we would need to look at a lot of other resources and stuff and do some research. This is a new thing right here, this record seek that the lady told me about this morning. And there's other options. And she said even you can just Google these names and dates and it might come up with stuff. Or we could, the person that had that on their tree, we could go to their tree and look at it and see if there's any way that that person actually knew that, you know, because we don't know. But we should come over here to Sarah now and we can F5 it to refresh the screen and she should have parents now. Right here on the right.
Yay!
So now this Sarah Cook family, we've added Nancy as a daughter and we've added a death date, which we don't know actually which one is accurate. We still don't have any resources, so it's still going to be purple. Oh, we have a duplicate here now. So this is promising actually, because if we click the possible duplicate, we may find that that one has sources. Okay. So it doesn't actually. There's actually nothing except for that she's also married to Richard.
Which means it's the same person.
Right. So we're gonna merge them. It's just not gonna give us anything. We're not gonna add these because they're already there. And we'll continue, and we'll just say we'll click this one and there's little information. We'll finish the merge, and now we've taken care of a problem as well. I'll be right back. Hold on.
He's like, you can have all the credit for you can have your opinion all you want, but you can't fight fact. He's like, this is exactly what happened.
Millie, bring me my phone.
So with the parents, there was an error or whatever there. It was saying that it needed more information for Margaret to let us do her stuff. It needs confirmation, needs more information, standardized place, birth, death, and all that stuff. So it's not going to let us do ordinances right now for Margaret. Maybe not for William either. We don't have enough information. Sarah's is probably already done. Yeah, so we could seal her to these parents now, Sarah, because we gave her parents.
Why can we seal her to them, but they can't have any ordinances done?
Because we don't have any information on there to go on the record for them. If you look at the person on the person right now, we have a birth of about this time, and we have a death at about that time. We don't have locations for anything, so there would be no information to track them in the system as far as who they were.
Now that we haven't proven that they're people.
Well, technically we haven't yet. We've gone off the basis of
seal them to someone that you haven't proven as a person.
What?
Why can you go seal her to someone that's not proven as a person?
Well, because we have her information. They know who she is.
Right.
There's data there. And so it'd be just a matter, even if it was wrong, it's not like the Lord doesn't take that error and
You're like, okay, well, you're sealed to that.
yeah,
No,
it's not like a technical issue. I mean, technically we're all gonna be sealed to each other in the end anyway. But somebody could go in and do proxy for Sarah to William Cook and Margaret Wallace and finish that sealing to parents now that we gave her some.
We'll request it.
Well, we can't even do it yet anyway.
Oh, that's true.
You can do ordinance. You can request ordinances later for all kinds of people.
But if you don't save it, someone else is going to do it. And
Well, you can get on and save it. I can't do her sealing anyway. I'm not a female.
Fine, I'll go find her.
We also can now do it for Nancy for all this stuff because
Okay, where was she at? She's grandpa's, mom's. Okay, grandpa's mom's
Grandpa's mom's, dad's mom's mom. I have it up if you can look at it.
Let me see that again. Grandpa's mom.
You can only say reserve ordinances for a year,
Right.
and we don't know when we'll be able to get back in the temple anyway.
Grandpa's mom's
Did
dad.
you know that Grandpa Atkin and Grandma Atkin's parents were cousins?
Can you say that again?
Grandma John LeVar or Grandpa John LeVar and Grandma Mildred their parents were first cousins.
Ew.
Did you know that? I didn't know that either till I got doing this.
Whoa, I was still looking at that.
And it's funny because you gotta, they may not have been together and they didn't know certain things, but if you look at it, the grandparents are where it went wrong. And so they didn't actually know. Are you looking at my screen right now?
Yes.
Okay, so you have John X. Smith and Margaret Patterson right here.
Okay.
They have a son, John Andrew, right? No big deal. Then over here you have John X. Smith and Margaret Patterson that have a daughter, Susan.
Oh
No big
dear.
deal. And now these two people have a son, John, that marries Susan. No big deal. It doesn't matter that these two are these two
Sure.
because everything would have been fine, except for Charlotte married John and John married Susan. And so now we've got these siblings. Susan and John are siblings. But then John Porter Murdoch, their kid, marries Eddie Smith, their kid, and make them cousins. Now,
Gosh.
if these guys lived in a different place than these guys or whatever, they might not have known, except for looking at the dates. The grandparents were still alive before these guys got together, or
Yeah.
before these guys were born. Well, no, these guys would have been dead before their marriage. It was just their birth.
Married, yeah.
Just their birth. So it's hard to know if they actually knew it. But yeah, these guys are first cousins because Susan right here is the sister to John. And so that means when they had their kids, John and Mildred are cousins once removed. So our grandparents were cousins once removed.
That explains it.
Yeah. So our tree on dad's side of the family narrowed drastically on this line from right here to right here because these guys are the same people. So that means the whole branch out from this line and this whole branch out from this line are the same.
They did, yeah.
But I mean, you can I've only clicked on grandpa, and there's so much to do. So now if you clicked on grandma and went out, I mean, obviously there's half of it's going to be the same as half of grandpa's, but oops, I didn't mean to do that. Go back. I didn't think it loaded. So we have parents missing over here again, but you go to research helps and we've got a data problem here. We've got 2 hints, and then these are all assumptions, and they're my least favorite. But you could easily fix this data problem in these hints right here for grandma.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, you could move all the way across the board because even though I clicked on grandpa before, all last week I clicked on Jedediah.
Yes, you can.
And it changes his whole spectrum. And look at all of them that I haven't even done on Jedediah.
Mm-hmm.
And I've been working on these two, but I can't find them. But now that I've got the extra resources, I might be able to. But there's so much still to do, and that's just clicking on Jedediah. So now, instead, if I clicked on Alice and saw her branch, look at all of hers.
Oh, jeez.
And then you go back, and then say we work on, wait, I didn't mean to click on Alice, but say I click on John Porter this time. There's a few there. Some parents missing. But I mean, you got to go across the whole spectrum and still do that, and that's just our family.
Mm-hmm.
And if you then say I've done all of Hannah Elizabeth Price, right? Say I've cleared this whole page. Well, then if I really wanted to, I could just go to her dad, Benjamin, and click on the person. And then our relation was Hannah Elizabeth, right? Is that what I said?
Yeah.
Well, now if I go down to Sarah instead and look at her tree, technically she's just one branch away because she's our aunt instead of a grandma. And look at her new page.
Oh, jeez.
So, well, some of this will be the same, but her husband's side will be different, you know? Well, and then you could easily do that too, because once you go to the person of Sarah, well, I don't know why I went to Ben. Oh, yeah, so so you go to Sarah. I wanted to go to the person though. Because then, even at that point, you could click on her husband, Samuel, here and go to his tree. And then you'd have a whole different tree from his ancestors. See, look at that page.
Jeez.
You could literally just be on here for days and days. So, but I've got to go.